All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Skool. Okay, so a lot of people have been talking a lot about Skool. Oh, should I start a school? Should I do this? Should I do this? I want to make 10K a month. Like all this bullshit. Okay, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why, for 99% of people, starting a school is actually probably one of the dumbest things you could possibly do when it comes to selling some sort of coaching offer or selling some sort of online service or something like that. Okay, and this is me coming from this is not me coming from like a, oh, like you should just like not start a school. This is me coming from the point of view of, scaling a few communities to over 6 figures a month. One of my clients, for example, he just launched a school, but he has 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. He has a proven offer, he has a proven niche, he has a proven market, and that works. Okay, because he had those prerequisites and he followed and established those beforehand. Okay, but for a lot of people, they're just starting shit to start shit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in this video, if you're feeling bad right now, whatever, I know I just went on a little rant, but what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm just gonna talk a little bit about Skool, what's happening with Skool in general, and how you can actually capitalize on this, because everyone's doing one thing, and if you just make a simple switch, you can do the other and actually capitalize on this change and actually try to win with Skool. Okay, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, so let's jump into it. So, like I said, for about 99% of people, starting a Skool community is honestly extremely pointless. It's a total waste of time. Okay, why, you may ask? Because Skool is pretty much a new platform. Okay, so it's what, a year and a half old, barely. Okay, Sam Evans launched it a year ago. And what's happening is something called the Pareto principle is pretty much starting to kick in. And what the Pareto principle pretty much is pretty much, it states that 80% of the inputs lead to 20% of the outputs, and 20% of the inputs lead to 80% of the outputs. Okay, so for example, I'm going to shift this from 80-20 to actually 90-10. 10% of the people who are building communities on the app are making roughly 90% of the revenue going through the interface. Okay, so the top 10% of people who are on Skool are making 90% of the revenue on Skool. Okay, so the 90% of people who are trying to build a profitable community and trying to compete for that 10% market share, what's happening is this: it's quickly becoming a bloodbath. Everyone's like, they're getting ads from Alex Hormozi to do Skool, and all their favorite creators have headed to Skool with massive audiences, like people who have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, followers, whatever, and they're telling you to do the same thing, but it's not working, right? Or maybe you're thinking of it and you're like, oh my god, right? But all these big people are telling you to go to Skool and do Skool, but you don't realize that the top 10% of the market is controlling about 90% of the market share. Okay, so this is the process that I've been following that's allowed me to scale multiple fitness coaches and other creators, pretty much using this community model to over 6 figures monthly. Okay, one of the creators I'm working with has over 700,000 subscribers on YouTube, pretty much is selling a $10,000 program. This is the entrance fee to get into the community. Okay, so this is not like, oh, it's split up in payments over 5 years. No. It's like, hey, you want to join, you have to pay 10K. Okay, this is the entrance fee to get into the community. And pretty much we'll sell anywhere from 4 to 5 packages per month, paid in full, and are following this process, which I'm going to outline below. Okay, so a lot of you guys may be thinking, oh my god, I'm just going to start a low ticket, whatever, and that may actually not be the right move. Okay, so we're going to jump into actually why I chose to, for this specific creator, do 10K package up front, and how that's setting us way more than doing like some dumb low ticket, pretty much recurring. Okay, so pretty much with Skool's a new platform. The platform's growing, but pretty much it's growing into a middle of funnel platform. Okay, pretty much like with Skool is there's different levels of awareness with marketing. Okay, so Skool, for example, I would say it's a middle of funnel. Okay, so top of funnel platforms would be like Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, for example, that sort of stuff. Okay, and pretty much I can go from not knowing you to knowing you on those apps. Okay, that's top of funnel. I don't know who John is. I see John's profile on Instagram. I start watching some of his videos. I immediately have some level of awareness with them. Okay, now I'm top of funnel for John. What Skool pretty much is it's a middle of funnel platform. Okay, so I'm not going to discover someone on Skool. I'm not going to go on Skool and like look up, oh, communities and oh my God, find it. Like that doesn't happen. Okay. Or at least right now, that's not happening. Okay. What's happening is people have these, top of funnel platforms, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, with massive, a massive audience. And then they have a middle of funnel platform like Skool, which then they're driving people who are a little bit more nurtured from these platforms to Skool, okay? And it's growing into a middle of funnel platform. But pretty much, the mistake many people are pretty much making is trying to turn Skool into a top of funnel platform. They will have no offer or top of funnel processes and just think that, they'll launch a Skool community and get a ton of users who will gladly pay them monthly, right? They'll just think that they're going to launch Skool and people are not really going to know about them and they're just going to top of funnel, hey, join my Skool. And it's only $10 a month or $30 a month, whatever. And they're going to get a bunch of people who pay the monthly. It doesn't work like that. Okay? The most top of funnel processes will always be having a niche, a transformation, and a price. Okay? So when I talk about Instagram, YouTube, all that sort of stuff being a top of funnel platform, what's even more top of funnel than that is actually your niche, your market, all that sort of stuff that happens before you even go to post. Okay? Because pretty much, when you're actually going about making money and starting a coaching business or a service business or etc., you have to validate a few things before you even go to try to get any sort of impressions or post anything or run ads or actually worry about acquisition. You have to validate your niche, your transformation, your price, potentially your mechanism, right? And then after you validated those, which is extremely top of funnel, that's not even on the funnel, it's very top of funnel, then you can start to worry about a top of funnel platform. Okay, so instead of trying to launch all this shit and I'm going to start a Skool and take my middle of funnel process and take a top of funnel, you have to really focus on these three things right here: niche, transformation, price. Okay, so these are more top of funnel than any sort of platform or social media. You have to perfect these before looking into any sort of platform or access channel. These come first. Okay, if you can perfect your NTP and you can have true market fit, you will not have to push that hard and you'll be able to get people willing to pay you up front. Okay? So this is the thing. Like everyone's like trying to push all these people into some like low ticket recurring revenue and they don't really have any sort of, niche with any sort of market that's like, a blue ocean or any sort of competitive market or market that you can actually charge high ticket to. They don't really have a desirable transformation and their price is low ticket because it's not desirable. Right? And what happens is like it just doesn't really work out. You have a high churn rate, etc. And what these people will do is they'll use the 1% rule. I hear this all the time, and they say, if 1% of my audience converts, then I'll be making $10K a month. Right? Oh, if only I had a $50 a month, whatever, and 1% of my audience converts, then I'll be making $10,000 a month. It's like, shut the fuck up. That's totally not true. I hear people saying that all the time. Okay? And what pretty much these people don't realize is, yes, number one, you need your niche, transformation, and price before anything. They also don't realize that continuity is also earned, okay? So, for example, Alex Hormozi, everyone knows who Alex Hormozi is. He started Gym Launch, and pretty much what he started was a $3.2 million a month community. A lot of people don't realize this, but he had a community on the back end of Gym Launch called Gym Lords. And Gym Lords was $3,200 a month. And he had like a lot of people, like a ton of people paying him $3,200. I forget it was just, I think it was around 1,000 people paying him. People say like, 700, some people say 1,000, but it was about 1,000 people who were paying him about 3.2K a month. Okay. And pretty much what Alex Hormozi did with this model is he didn't just go directly into like, I'm gonna just push people to, my Skool with, if 1% of my audience converts and I'll be making this much money. No, that's not what he did. Pretty much what he did is he focused on niche, transformation, price, having an upfront offer. Okay, so he had his Gym Launch offer, which was a front end offer of $16,000. Okay, so he wasn't like, just join for $50 on the back end or 3.2K on the back end immediately. No. You had to get invited into that. So it was, hey, show your commitment, pay the 16K up front. Let me actually, like it's going to be high ticket. Okay. They're going to get good results because the process is good. he's going to be able to leverage talent, leverage resources, software, etc. Because they're paying so high ticket, he can allocate money within that 16K to make sure they get good client results, place good talent to manage all those clients, etc. Get really good results. And because he has really good results, he's able to leverage what worked for these people back to new clients. And it's just a flywheel of success. Okay? And what he did is, like, most of his clients were, I remember this specific clip where he was like, average client that works with me will make like 50K in their first 2 or 3 months or something something like that, right? Which is crazy. So if he gets them to join, pays 16K up front, their commitment is really high, makes them 50K, then he goes to them and says, okay, you pay me already 16K, let's join on a back end. Do you want to join a back end? Which pretty much I'm going to sell you data, I'm going to sell you insights, I'm going to sell you the newest Facebook ads, the newest Facebook creatives, all that sort of stuff for only $3,200 a month. After them paying 16K, they're like, cool, let's do it. Okay? So pretty much they're downselling and upsell. It's an effortless close because they're actually providing more value. And pretty much what Gym Lords was doing, this is just also an insight as well, because a lot of my clients who I have right now have worked with companies like Gym Launch, Gym Lords, all these, big companies before. And pretty much what Gym Lords is they were selling data. Okay, so they were selling like the best Facebook ads, the best copywriting, sales lingo, scripting, sales training, Google ads. Like, they were selling data which is working, so then they just take that data and use it for ads, acquisition, sales, etc. Okay, so this is what Alex Hormozi did, and he was making 3.2 mil a month. Okay, so he was charging upfront, and pretty much what I realized, and this is just a personal insight as well, is people will gladly spend 5 times, even 10 times more upfront on a sales call and get it over with, rather than having the mental thought of having to spend $500 a month or even less with that continuity. Okay, so like, people are not like if you're like, oh, it's $1,000 a month, they're not thinking of the initial 1,000, they're thinking of the back end thousands. Okay, so if you're on a sales call with someone, yeah, it's just 5K once. It's like, oh, okay, that's a lot better than 1,000 a month. That's scary for people. Continuity can be scary. Okay, so, and even on top of that, it's much easier to make 10K a month initially charging $5,000 a package, selling it 2 times per month, rather than spending years building a massive audience to monetize with a low ticket nightmare. Okay, because it is a low ticket nightmare, and you need to have some sort of upfront package to get people committed, get people in, get some results, leverage those results, leverage those data insights, and then get people in on the back end. Okay, I personally started selling lower ticket when I was like, I guess, starting in business a long time ago, and I was stuck roughly around like roughly K a month. Pretty much I was selling a $1,200 package, which was extremely low. And this is like Canadian, so American, that's maybe like $900, right? So I was selling this lower ticket item and was stuck at 7K a month. So I was like selling maybe around, I was selling like 7 roughly of these, 6, 7 of these a month. And this was a lot of volume. It was a total headache. I had all these people who were like up my ass, etc. And then when I shifted to a higher ticket package, I'm able to do more volume, handle more clients, and make 20K a month. Okay, because let's say hypothetically, I could only handle 20 clients a month, then like, I'm gonna have to charge as much money as I humanly possibly can to handle those 20 people, okay, rather than taking on like a shit ton of people at a lower ticket, because I'm bottlenecked by the amount of people that I can take on. So why not try to get that capacity up or just charge more? Okay, awesome. So pretty much what, in terms of Skool, like, if you have a million followers on TikTok, if you have a million followers on Instagram, if you have a bunch of subscribers on YouTube, go ahead, launch your low ticket community. But if you have less of a presence and you want to pull in 20 to 50K per month without having to slave away to things like building an audience or having to deal with churn, then keep listening, because people are literally 180 degrees backwards. Like, if you have a massive audience and you're like, oh my God, should I start a Skool community? Yes, start a Skool community. There are better ways to go about still doing it, but it's not going to be a massive issue. If you have, like, I would say less than 100,000 followers combined, I would be very cautious, and I would follow the steps that I'm about to kind of run you through below. So moral is, people are 180 degrees backwards. I hope this all makes sense here. Okay? Awesome. So here's a process that I've been following to ensure that even if I start a community, I can be profitable and not start a community just for vanity or just like ego and end up creating a headache for myself. Because what people are doing is they see, oh, this guy's a community, this guy's a community, this guy's doing this, and they feel obliged to jump in because they have shiny object syndrome. So here's pretty much the process that we're going to follow together. Take notes, make sure you're attentive during this part because this is very hyper important and it's going to be a long time to understand myself. Okay? So number one is you're going to pick 3 extremely niched markets and test them all. Okay? And then you're going to pick the winner. So you're going to put 3 squirrels in a ring, let the squirrels fight it out. The winner you're going to take, pretty much. Okay? And the reason I say extremely niched is because of this simple quote right here. So Sam Altman pretty much sums it up here. He says that every time he's failed as a founder, it's because I try to go after a larger portion of the market rather than a smaller niche market and dominate that first. Okay? So Sam Altman, who's the CEO of OpenAI, says that you need to start small and dominate a small market before moving outwards. Okay? And this is a very important subject that not a lot of people talk about. There's, oh, go into fitness. Oh, go into this, go into that. Don't really start something small, dominate that niche to then move on to the next one. Okay? So you're going to pick 3 extremely niche markets, test them. For example, as well, if I were to, come to you, if I were to ask you, I was like, hey man, you want to start a hamburger business? And I asked you, what would you do to stay competitive? You'd probably say that you need a good burger, you need a nice shop, you need quality ingredients, etc. You're like, oh, I need a, this is how I'm going to make my burger business competitive. But what I would tell you is I would pick one thing to ensure I would win, and that would beat all of those surface level things. I would simply pick a starving crowd. That would trump anything. A starving crowd will beat ingredients. A starving crowd will beat how cool your store is. It doesn't matter how cool your store is. If I have a starving crowd, I'm going to beat you. Therefore, who you are selling to matters more than what you're selling. Okay? And when you pair that with a small niche market and figure that out specifically, you will be able to win. Okay? Because once you find a market that is a blue ocean market that you've tested and the people have money to pay, they're receptive to your message and have not been pitched 1,000 times before, and you can actually find and locate these people, you've found your market to go after. Okay? Awesome. So now you may ask, okay, Ashton, cool. So I need to pick an extremely niche market, start small, make sure that's a starving crowd, etc. But what if I don't do that? Like, I'm a fitness coach. I'm just going to help people with fitness. This is what I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And this is honestly what happened with a lot of my clients and myself as well when I was first starting. Okay? So, number one, you're going to have a hard time getting clients. When you're calling out a specific person, that specific person will respond. Let's say I go to a bus station and I say, hey guys. And I yell that out, hey guys, hey people. Everyone's going to be like, whatever, move on. Who's this crazy guy? But let's say I go to a bus station and I yell out, hey John. People named John, maybe there's 3 guys named John, they're going to be like, what? They're going to be super like, who's this guy? All right? So you're going to have a harder time getting clients because you're not calling out a specific person. When you call out everyone, you get no one. You're going to actually have to charge less because non-specialists have to charge less for the same or equivalent service. Look at doctors, for example. Okay, number 3, you'll be viewed as a commodity. Because you help everyone, the market will view you as disposable and replaceable. Number 4, your clients won't get good results. Your clients will have a very low emotional investment due to the price and lack of specialty, viewing you as a commodity, and therefore will not take the process 100% serious. Think about like the online program like Beachbody, for example. The success rate on that program is like less than 2%. Beachbody on Demand is cheap, targets everyone. Okay? So you don't want to be this like over specialist that like, is viewed as a commodity because you can see where this is going. Okay? And number 5, this is a very important one. You're going to have to create new systems and processes for each new client and type of goal that you're doing. Okay? If someone wants to lose weight for a bodybuilding show, they're going to have to do a different protocol than someone who wants to gain 100 pounds because they're anorexic. This takes time to create. So if you're a fitness coach and you're helping anyone with fitness, you're going to have to make a new system for everyone you work with. That's a total waste of time. Okay? Number 6, you won't be able to validate your systems because you'll have so many clients, each doing different things, that you won't be able to validate one process. The only way you validate your systems are with data. Okay? Look at Alex Hormozi. He's selling data. You get data by working with clients, but if each client is different, your data is spread very thin. You want to dig deep with data, not dig out. Okay? So I would rather know a million things about one person than one thing about a million people. Okay, in the sense of like selling to that one person will be a lot easier because I know about that one person. And then what this is going to lead to is it's going to lead to something called, this is a spiral of death. It always leads to you losing confidence in your product. Oh, I suck. It's I don't think business is right for me. I don't think that I'm an entrepreneur. I don't think I can do this. And you lose doubt. You start to doubt yourself. Okay? And what happens here is like it's just from not niching hard enough, and it's not picking a specific market and doing everything for everyone and just calling on everyone rather than calling on a specific person. Okay? So having a niche is super important, and you can kind of see why this is so important. Okay? So that's number one. You got to pick a specific niche. Specifically three, test them, pick the winner, make sure that these people actually can, like, they're not broke. Okay, they're receptive to your message, which meaning like they've not been pitched a million times before you. And then you can actually find these people. They're not like, like if I can't locate these people, if they're not on a specific, platform, or they don't go to a specific place, then I won't be able to get, and find these people and pitch them. Okay. So that's number one. It's all about your market. Number two is about transformation. Okay. So you're gonna have to pick a desirable transformation regarding the niche you are in. So let's say you were stuck on an island in the middle of nowhere. It wouldn't matter how you got to your destination. If it was a rocket ship that took you to your, destination, if it was a boat that took you off the island, you would only care if you were able to get off the island. If you were stuck on that island, starving, eating like coconuts, right? Getting skinny, you're missing out on your family, you haven't seen your girlfriend in 2 months. It doesn't matter how you would get off that island. You just would care to get off that island because you're in so much pain. Okay? This transformation should be something that once told to your niche, they are automatically bought in. It shouldn't be something similar to what everyone else is promising. When they zig, you zag. Okay? So what everyone's doing right now is they're like really pulling a Pablo Picasso. They're copying everyone. Oh, everyone's guaranteeing 30 appointments. I'm just going to guarantee 40 appointments. Or everyone's guaranteeing this. I'm going to guarantee that. Because they've made 10K a month, I can make 10K a month with that. It's like, yes, you can do that, but you have to pick a transformation that is extremely desirable. For example, one of my clients, the transformation we're doing right now is gaining a level of wealth through community. Okay? So when I say that to the people who are on the sales calls, because I take some of the sales calls, I like to dabble in sales. Everyone's like, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so if your niche doesn't have a reaction like that, then it's not, oh, I gotta just, make my offer. Like, you have to make your transformation more appealing. Okay, try different things, see what works better. Okay, like I said, everyone nowadays is doing a Grand Slam type offer. Nowadays, a Grand Slam offer has become numb to several people. Okay, I was actually at dinner with a friend in the digital marketing space. He's doing like well into the 8 figures annually. He told me like crazy stuff. And he told me personally that if he got pitched a Grand Slam offer, he would immediately think it's a scam. Okay? And like maybe 10 years ago, he would have bought into it. But nowadays, he's like, yeah, dude, I would never do that. Okay? So look at what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. Your goal is to build something that people are immediately receptive to and present it in a minimum viable offer format. Okay? So if you want the same results as everyone else, you can do the same thing as everyone else. But if you want different results, you are going to have to be different. Okay? Everyone has this misconception that you can just do the same thing as everyone else, copy people, etc., and just scale. That is partially true in a sense, but you have to, if you actually want to build something larger, then you're going to have to do something different. Okay? And this all starts with the transformation and the niche. Okay? And you got to present this in a minimum viable offer format. What a minimum viable offer is, for example, most people think that with their offer, it represents a grocery bag. The more they put in, the more value it is. Like, imagine a grocery bag. You put a bunch of groceries in, it's like more valuable. But this is how people think about their transformation and their offer. Think staying lean and having the minimum viable amount needed, not like just throwing shit to throw in. Okay, everyone's like, oh, guaranteed appointments plus this, value add. It's getting really numb. Okay, so think staying lean and having the minimum viable amount needed. Okay, so just like, hey, you want to go from X to Y in Z time, that's it. Okay, that transformation should be different and it should be desirable. One of my clients actually, he's doing pretty good right now. He just signed 2 clients last week. He's in a completely different market. He's in a completely different space, and a lot of people are very receptive to his message because of his market and because of his transformation. Like, because he's knocked those two in, his acquisition system isn't top class. His acquisition system isn't this new massive thing, but his niche and transformation are so different that once he goes and sends like a few cold DMs or does this, it's just like automatic receptivity. Okay, so keep it in the back of your mind. Awesome. And then number 3 is about pricing. So we're getting into that. All right. So number 3 is about pricing. With pricing, pretty much you have to think of the other factors in order to make the ticket high ticket. So like pricing high ticket. Most people, when it comes to pricing, will do one of the two things. Okay. So number 1, they'll price their services competitively. So like somewhere in the middle of like everyone pretty much. So like if Bob is charging $10 and Amy's charging $20, I'm going to charge $15. Okay. And they do this because they think it will allow them to be competitive. It's not too cheap. It's not too expensive, somewhere in the middle. But what happens is the middle genuinely leads to death. It's literally called the spiral of death. And what happens is, because you're charging a low price, you attract broke people who can't afford the low prices. You get less revenue because, people can't really, people are not paying a lot. You get less revenue. You can't invest that back into marketing. You can't invest that back into your company. And then that just makes everything shit. When you charge a high ticket, you get high quality customers who are committed. You get more revenue that you can invest back into your business. You get better results for your customers, right? And you also are winning, etc. It's just a win, 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 win. Okay? So charging high ticket is a lot better than low ticket. Okay? So when someone goes and starts a Skool community and charges extremely low ticket, then what happens is this immediately kicks into place. Okay? They're actually just pushing the Skool community and just like ramming it down people's throat. No one's getting any results, but it's just a quick money grab. Okay? For like a bunch of low price people. No one's actually getting a lot of results most of the time. Okay? So that's number 1. Most people will either do this somewhere in the middle, or number 2 is they'll charge high ticket, but the value will be limited. Many people actually are afraid to charge high prices because they don't think they can provide the value they are delivering in return. They just look at the guys online and think, oh, I should charge high ticket because this guy said to. Okay? So, like, you look at Alex Hormozy, you look at people in the online space, they're like, oh, you should charge high ticket, and you just go ahead and just charge high ticket because they said to charge high ticket, and there's no real justification. Okay? When you charge high ticket, like, that's cool, but you have to justify the prices with a reciprocation of value. Okay? You have to, if I'm giving you this cup of coffee, okay, you you have to give me value in exchange. It's a value, you're pretty much trading. Everything is a trade. Like when I buy an iPhone, I'm trading you money, cash, whatever, and you are giving me a product. It's all trade at the end of the day. Okay, so when you charge high ticket, that's cool, but you still have to justify the prices with the reciprocation of value. And what I do is you should look at this backwards and think of a high ticket price and think about what you can do to be able to charge that price so it's justified. So think, okay, I want to be able to charge $10,000 as a fitness coach. In order to charge $10,000, what value do I need to charge $10,000? Okay, I need a diet and nutrition plan worth $10,000. I need accountability worth $10,000. I need unique insights worth $10,000. I need maybe a few coaches who are in that community who are very valued people, etc. Not just charging high ticket to charge high ticket. Okay? So once you have this process and you have validated your niche, your transformation, and your price, you can now focus on building and getting clients who will pay the upfront full amount. Okay? Not for the community. Upfront full amount. Because it's much easier to make $10K per month, initially charging, like I said, $5,000 package and selling 2 per month, rather than spending years building a massive audience to monetize with a low ticket nightmare, with a high churn rate, with people who just don't give a shit, who are broke, there's less revenue to invest back in it, and it is just a nightmare. Okay? So how does the community come into the picture? How do you actually go about charging upfront high ticket for this community? Ooh. Okay. So pretty much what you're going to do is what you're pretty much going to do with your community is you are going to, one second. Okay, I'm back. So pretty much how does the community come into the picture? How does this all relate? Pretty much what you're going to do is looking at this process right here. it looks quite complex, but pretty much what you're going to do is there are things that need to be done beforehand. Like I said, your niche, your transformation, and your price. Once you've validated these, then you need to validate your acquisition system. So how are you going to get clients? Okay? You're going to want to charge high ticket upfront for these people. Okay? You're going to get leads. You're going to nurture these people. You're going to get them booked into a calendar. You're going to get them to show up to a call. You're going to close them on that call. Okay? Then you're going to onboard them. They're going to begin on a plan. You're going to deliver expected results. It doesn't have to be crazy results as long as you hit your expectations. Make sure that client is happy. And then you are going to ascend to MRR. Okay? So this is exactly what Alex Hormozi did, and this is what I think the best way to do Skool is. Okay? So you have your niche, your transformation, your price, which are validated, which are very highly attractive, that you can charge high ticket for. Okay? And pretty much you're collecting leads, you're getting these people on a sales call, they're showing up, and you're closing them on a sales call. If you need help with sales, I have a video of me that I just closed a $7,000 fitness sale recording on my YouTube. Go check that out. It's just pretty much me handling objections for an hour straight. Okay? You're going to close and collect cash on that call. And then what you're going to do, you're going to onboard them, deliver expected results. You don't need to deliver crazy results as long as you hit your expectations. That's all, business is. And then once they're happy and they've gotten results, then you are going to ascend them to MRR. And this is not going to be like some extremely low ticket, $20 a month. This is going to be anywhere from $100 to $300 a month for your service. Okay? Because if you charge someone up front, let's say $5,000, then they will have no problem paying $250, $300 a month for the same thing continued. Okay? They will think it's a steal. Okay? And that's how you get people in a Skool community with less than 1% churn, who value you, who take the process seriously, who actually respect you, who actually get results, leaving you with good clients that actually pay you, and then you can invest this money back into your company. You can invest this money back into your product, back into sales, back into marketing, back into hiring more talent, etc., rather than just pushing people into a Skool community initially. Okay? So you need to focus on the entire picture rather than just a fucking Skool community. You need to focus on having and selecting good markets. Okay? There's a lot of really good markets within coaching niches. There's a lot of really good markets within online service niches that are untapped. These markets, it's not your Grand Slam offer. It's not your amazing Skool community. It's the market you're in. Okay? So these people need to, you have to know how to select markets better, build a transformation around that, build a price around that, launch an acquisition system quickly to validate that, and then get these people on a call, deliver some results, collect case studies to market back as well, and then ascend these people to an MRR $100, $200, $300, $400 a month to stay on, get people who are super invested in the process, and etc. Okay? So I hope this makes sense. Don't just be another person who's just like, oh, I'm just going to start a Skool community because everyone says so. Whenever I see a trend, I automatically go to a logical brain. I'm like, okay, shiny object syndrome's kicking in. I know what's going on. Try to take an objective view on things. Try to step back because there's always trends happening. And honestly, I believe that if you stay away from most trends, you will actually win. Okay? So you have to understand why these trends are happening. Why are these people with massive audience saying to start a Skool community? Oh, you have to start a Skool community. You have to start a Skool community. Why are they saying that? Because they have a Skool community themselves that's probably teaching you how to make a Skool community. Okay? So it's all just a fucking game of sales. It's all about money. It's all about building things to just say you need to start a Skool community when you actually don't need to. These are the principles of business. These have been people have made, my mentor who actually helped me, pretty much build the system out. I've validated this with all my clients. This process works, and this process has worked for probably hundreds of years. This is very simple. You have a niche. What are you doing for that niche? What is the price for that service? Okay, if you can validate those, find product market fit, etc. I have a 30-page. I will show you right here. If you're watching with me right here, I have a surprise for you. Okay, so I have a 30-page document called Solving for Product Market Fit. as you can see right here, it's a 30-page document all about pretty much picking niches, picking markets, how to go about building a transformation, all this sort of stuff. It's 30 pages. I give it to all my clients. If you made it to the end of this video and you are someone who is a fitness coach, I work mainly with health and fitness companies, fitness coaches, and people who are usually within that niche. But even if you're someone else and you're looking for help with this, go down, shoot me a comment, and I will give you access to this document. Shoot me a comment down below. I should be able to respond to you, or you can just go ahead and book a call with myself and my team. I'll run you through my entire process, how I do everything, how I select markets, etc. And you can go. I also have a fuck ton of other videos that explains it as well. So thanks for watching. That's pretty much it. Enjoy the rest of your day.